Edward Ryan of the Western District in North Carolina, where he is the U.S. attorney there, and tell him how displeased you are with the fact that he's going after a 53-year-old man for using silver coins as a currency. Again, his name is Edward Ryan. He's the Western District of North Carolina, and he's simply disgusting. There's a guy you need to go after. We're going to come back, do more news after this. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas, Earth 2100, still coming up. All right, folks, we are back. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas. And if you've been following the show at all, listening in the past few weeks, past few months, you know that one of the focuses that I like to really shine the light on is that we're already being tracked, traced, and databased in almost everything we do with our cell phones and on the internet. This has been exposed in lawsuits against AT&T. Mark Klein went on MSNBC. He went on Olbermann, and he basically described how it was his job to wire the secret room, if you will, where all data was hardlined into a computer, where it kept this information. Now, from the 90s, we know about Promise. We know about Carnivore, these two software applications that will go after large amounts of data, look for keywords and phrases, and then put you into separate categories, especially if you're a spooky terrorist. Ooh. Well, I've been saying that this is still in the appellate court. In fact, if you go to Wikipedia right now, Hepping versus AT&T, it says that the case was immediately appealed to the Ninth Circuit, where it has been argued and awaits a decision. And this is a case back from January 2006. And, of course, the Bush administration tried to say that they had retroactive immunity. That means we're immune from all the crimes we committed, and you can never prosecute us no matter how much evidence you find. Retroactive immunity. Totally illegal, totally insane, totally out of control tyranny. But this government thinks that they can do that, and they put it on paper. Now, I don't know if this story pertains to this case because this has not been updated yet. It may be the case that these have been thrown out of court, but this happened on Thursday. People were sending it to my MySpace. I thank you guys very much. A federal judge on Wednesday upheld an immunity law for telecommunications companies and dismissed dozens of lawsuits by customers who accused AT&T and other carriers of collaborating in illegal government wiretapping. That's exactly what they were doing. And it wasn't just AT&T. It was every major telecommunication company in the country. The Federal Communications Act of 1996. You know, Alex is very good about bringing that up. It's incredible to me. The evidence is right on the table. And the Bush administration got caught wiretapping Americans without a warrant. They were actually going after people in this country. They said, oh, it was only overseas with the terrorists when people were calling in or out of the country. Totally untrue. And we know this was taking place before the Bush administration. We know the Obama administration has asked for even more executive administrative powers. And now he's going to start a cybersecurity office with a cybersecurity czar or coordinator. And they're merging DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, in with NASA. Or not NASA, I'm sorry, the NSA. I don't know why I said NASA. I do because I have an article about NASA in front of me that we're going to get to a little bit later when we do this Earth 2100 bit in the next segment. Now, what's crazy to me is that this basically says, yeah, the government's right. They love you, and they're allowed to spy on you, but we're not going to publicize it. This is off of the San Francisco Gate. This isn't on the cover of ABC or NBC.com. It's not on CNN right now. Why is that? Well, they don't want you to know that you're being spied on at this very moment. Now, they don't have the manpower to manually go through everything, and they're not watching you, live. But what it does is, again, it's track, trace, and database. They put you into a system, and then they run that through programs, and that databases you. So if you do become somebody of interest later on, they will check out your files. Then they do have the manpower for that. They don't have it for everybody. Now, they're building that up. That's why you're seeing kids as Boy Scouts being trained to take on terrorists in the Explorers program. Remember that disgruntled Iraqi war veteran that comes back and he's going to shoot people from a tower? The Boy Scouts to the rescue. And, of course, City Year being promoted on television as the hip new thing to do. Oh, you could be Gandhi. You could be Martin Luther King Jr. You could be Mother Teresa. You could be JFK. You are change. Wear a red Nazi jacket and it's okay. And, of course, City Year is a group that does good things, but now AmeriCorps has hijacked them through the funding given in the GIVE Act. This is about socialism. This is about acclimating us to this type of behavior. And, again, saying that, it's good the government does this, but it doesn't exist because they're not really spying on us, all this double thing. The law pushed through Congress last year by President George W. Bush validly authorized the Attorney General to protect phone companies from liability without having to publicly disclose whether a company had actually allowed the government to eavesdrop on its customers, said Chief U.S. District Judge Judge Vaughn Walker of San Francisco. Hours later, Walker rejected the Obama administration's attempt to sidetrack another suit challenging the legality of the Bush's electronic surveillance program and scheduled a hearing for September 1st. The lawyer from Islamic organization, see, it's always about Islam. This has nothing to do about terror or Islam. This has everything about you and me. Do you understand? All the people that you know and love. They're the ones getting tracked and traced. In fact, we did a story on Friday that your iPhone, every time it does that application where the screen goes smaller, it does that little bloop, that's taking a screenshot of you. And if they want, that's accessible. And we have all these local news outlets now showing you that, yes, your phone can easily be hacked into. You do not have to have it on, and it will record everything you're saying. You don't even have to be calling somebody. It works as a recording device. Do you notice that most phones have that option where if you hit the record button, it acts as a recorder? Well, somebody can do that remotely without you knowing it. And the only way to stop it is to take the battery out of the phone. That's right, you can have the power off and it does not matter. Just type it into YouTube and you'll see, I think there's at least 6 of them that have picked up on the story now. It's incredible to me. So apparently the judge has thrown these cases out. I would really like to know if this does mean Hepting versus AT&T, if this is in fact the story that we're talking about on the Infowarrior.com. I think it's about 2 weeks old. All right, before I get into this really disturbing next story, it's not a shocker. I mean, it's just disturbing. It's off AOL News. I want to give a big shout out to my people out in Oneonta that are listening tonight, JC and Scanoni, 2 of my loyal listeners and friends apparently. So thanks for listening, guys. Marine recruiter pimped girl, police say. Oh, the Marines. We've got the best and brightest in our military. Yeah, the best and brightest pimps apparently. Police have arrested a U.S. Marine Corps recruiter on charges of felony pimping and kidnapping and are looking into whether he used sex with a 14-year-old girl to entice potential recruits. So this guy's not only a sicko, he was recruiting other sickos for the military to have sex with a 14-year-old girl. Very lovely, very Christian. Yeah, so society's not gone. Staff Sergeant Brian Damon Cunningham, 33, of San Pedro, pleaded not guilty to 7 felonies last Thursday after police in Orange discovered the teenage girl in a car with Cunningham and 2 other men. Men. Not boys, men. The 2 men, ages 18 and 19, were potential Marine recruits, police said. The girl, who has since been returned to her parents in Hemet, told police that she met Cunningham online and had sex with all 3 men.